Hey guys, so I know building a PC can be pretty intimidating, can be a little bit difficult if you don't know really where to look. I highly recommend going to this site. This is actually where I first started too. You go to PC Part Picker, and from there you can kind of get all your parts that you need. It can show you kind of like the budget and sales and what's going on with that, and average price and stuff like that. It tells you all the parts, and it tells you pretty much exactly what you need, how much voltage it uses for power supply and everything. So let's get into it real quick. Just go pcpartpicker.com. You want to click System Builder, and actually from here it's very straightforward. So they have a CPU cooler, motherboard, memory, all the parts that you need. So all you're going to really do is plug and play. So let's just build one real quick, just hypothetically, and see what's going on with it. So at the top here, you can actually see there's compatibility. It says no issues or incompatibilities found. So the first thing you want to start off with is pretty much making a CPU. So you want to pick whatever CPU you want. There's really two main brands. There's AMD and of course there's Intel. Let's go crazy today. So let's actually get the pretty much the coolest thing we can possibly get. Let's get the Intel i9 9900K. This is pretty much the highest end you can get from Intel and one of the best CPUs on the market for pretty much anyone, gamers, productivity, and non-server based. So let's click that. You see, it shows you everything on here. It says the price and stuff like that. So let's say, oh, I want the 9900K. So we're going to hit add, and it actually brings you right back there. Now from there, this doesn't come with a cooler. The K series doesn't really come with a cooler. So now we can just pick a good cooler. And we're going to go with, here's the liquid coolers they have, and they have RGB ones and just other good ones. Usually anything at the top is usually pretty much really popular or stuff that's really good. Noctua is a really good brand for coolers. Pretty much anything really, honestly. Corsair is really good for liquid coolers, and Cooler Master is good especially for air coolers. And you can actually search here by the rating, the manufacturer, the color, the type, what socket it is, and all these other wonderful things, fanless and whatnot. So since we have a 900K, it gets really hot, we're going to go with a Corsair H100i Platinum. So let's go with that. This is your all-in-one cooler, so you don't really do too much maintenance on it, if any at all, because it's an all-in-one cooler. So they're pretty good for that. Now, since we have an Intel processor, you want to go with the motherboard. That's an Intel motherboard. So let's click motherboard. You want to get a Z board because a Z board allows you to overclock and has many other features. So we're actually just going to get the ROG Strix, and it'll tell you pretty much anything is incompatible. It won't list it. So if you have a CPU, like if you have an AMD CPU, there's no real risk of getting a bad board or incompatible board, because it's going to tell you right when you click it. But in this case, it's just going to kind of list off here. So we're just going to get this one. This one's pretty cool. It's the top one anyway. So we make it super straightforward. You hit add. Okay, so since we got that, now we need memory. Memory is pretty much the RAM speed and stuff like that. I would definitely recommend getting at least 16 gigs of RAM, which look, you can tell the first top is 16 gigs. If you want to go 32, you can as well, but 16 is pretty much the bare minimum. For speeds, you probably, if you're spending this amount of money, one of the best to get would be 3200. So let's go with the Trident Z RGB. This will actually come with some RGB. Looks pretty cool too. So look how simple this is. It's very, very straightforward so far. So now we go to storage. Of course, you definitely want to get an SSD. Samsung does a very good job. I would recommend Samsung or Crucial for solid state drives. 860 Evo is absolutely fantastic, so we'll get that. Let's get a terabyte, because it's pretty cool. So it even shows you here the capacities, what it is, and what exactly is the form factor. If it's 2.5 inch, which is basically a regular hard drive size, and has a SATA connection or M.2. This is the NVMe drive. This is the one that kind of looks like that. But right now we're just going to go basic and go there. So it's only 130. Wow, at this point. So now we want to get a video card. If you're building, honestly, if you're building this machine, you don't need a video card per se, because you already have integrated graphics. But since we're using one of the highest end CPUs, I bet we're playing games or we're doing some type of video work. So if you really don't need one, you just want a high-end processor, you're not going to be doing anything else, but that's kind of defeats the whole purpose. So let's get a really nice card for it. And the best card you can pretty much get on the market right now is here we go. So the 2080 Ti, and you can tell you can tell it's $1,200, but it's very good. It's pretty much the best one from NVIDIA you can get. I would recommend, if you're getting anything lower than this, you can get a GTX 1660 Ti, which is very good. or any of the 2060s, 2070s, they're excellent as well. Or of course you can get the AMD, the RX, the 5700 or above is very good at them. You do want to get an aftermarket cooler on it, so anything pretty much from Asus or EVGA, Gigabyte, MSI, those are the ones you really want to go with. My personal favorite though is Asus. Of course, I do like that. That's why we got Asus board, we get Asus Strix, and if you get actually all pretty much the same one, if you get like the motherboard, the card, there's a lighting software that syncs all of it. It's called Aura Sync, and of course, if you get all MSI, they have another one, another lighting system for that. So let's get the card. So okay, so we have the processor, we have a cooler, we have motherboard. You can see everything is listed here. It's very straightforward, very easy. And we can check there's no compatibilities found so far, so we look pretty good. And now we're looking up here, we actually see the estimated wattage is 454. So that kind of tells you to do with the power supply what you want to do. If you have like the highest end CPU and GPU, I would probably go more with like 750 watt. I would just go way over this, of course. Just because you want some headroom. It's always very good to have headroom, especially from a power supply. So let's keep going. So we can get a case. Now cases all vary by, you'll see each one, this is called an ATX. Let's go back to the motherboards real quick. So there's a few different motherboards you can get. You can get an ATX one, and you can see here, it's a standard size. It's pretty much like almost any regular desktop that you see. Micro ATX is just a little bit smaller than an ATX, and you can even get a different case for that. It's just a little bit smaller. You might see them in like very slim, maybe all-in-one builds from manufacturers. You don't see too much for cases outside, but the other third one would be mini ITX, which is the smallest one you can get. It's if you ever see a very small computer cases, they're very compact. You'll see this as well, but usually the boards are very expensive if you see this, because of course it's just smaller form factor. They like that. It's more for if you just want to save space and for aesthetics. And it just kind of looks nice, but you do lose some features. You usually lose a few slots of RAM or PCIe slots and stuff like that. You can see the sockets, and each generation, usually of Intel or AMD, they each have their own different type of sockets that can fit. Intel is more, they usually have a board for almost every release or every 2 releases, and AMD this generation has one for every 4 generation releases, so that's pretty good. Yep, you can of course get one with Wi-Fi. Just check to see the specs on it. Usually you can click it and it'll say what it has, or you just Google the manufacturer's website and go back to that. Alright, so now we want to get the case because we know we have an ATX board. That's just a standard case, so we can go to cases. I personally do recommend the ones that they put up here. NZXT, they're excellent. Cooler Master is fantastic too. Fantex, Factual Design is very good. Corsair is very good too. For aesthetics, airflow, and cable management, that's what you really want to look for. I think personally I like NZXT the best for all those. I feel like they do the best job. And use H500 is kind of their series. That's the mainstream one. So let's get the white one. Looks good, cool. Okay, and now we're going to pick the power supply. Like I said before, we have 454 watts, and I always want to go above that. Just if I'm getting the highest end CPU, if I'm getting the highest end CPU, GPU, I definitely want to go probably 750 at least. So if you have a little bit lower processor and not such an intensive card, you can probably get away with 550 would be okay, just to be 100% sure. Now, you'll also see the modular. There's some that are semi-full. You'll be asking yourself, what is that? A modular is when you can actually remove some of the cables that come in it, that you don't have to use all of them. I do recommend getting a fully modular one, because if you don't have as many cards or if you don't have as many slots that you need, it'll have less cables in there, and it'll have less clutter and stuff like that. So make it a little bit smoother, easier, and it is helpful for airflow too. Every little cable and every little piece of space counts. So for this brand though, I would either go Corsair or EVGA. They are definitely the best. And there's ratings on each one. You want to get at least a bronze rating, but I would definitely just recommend getting a gold. You'll see 80 plus gold or 80 plus bronze. Go for the gold ones. They're a little bit more, but they're definitely worth it. Like, you don't want to cheap out on the power supply. That's usually why most manufacturers do. They'll cheap out on that, or maybe the RAM or something, not a good brand. Okay, so let's get, since I said, 750, Yep, so this one looks good, EVGA. It's a fully modular, and the Supernova is really good too, very high end. Let's go with that. Okay, so we pretty much have everything else. You can pick a monitor here too, they do that, but we're not going to get into that today, or software and all this other stuff. So anyways, guys, thanks a lot for watching. If you found this video helpful, please leave a like. If you have any other comments, please help any other people that have questions down below. It really does help us a lot, and if you can hit the subscribe button, that helps a lot too. Alright guys, thanks a lot. Bye.